that have this incredible blessing to share. And but I've seen so many of us get kind of buried in our lives. And I mean, our youngest is 11, so I'm kind of coming out of that. I mean, I know where I was at. I can relate to what you're saying. And, you know, in the next 10 years, it's going to change a lot as your son gets older and more independent.
Yeah, thank God.
But even in the meantime,
that one's going to be brought out. Thank God, it'll never end.
I remember the feeling. No, I remember the feeling. I remember the feeling. And you know what? And then suddenly you're looking back, and what I'm telling people now is, you know, I thought it was forever.
Yeah.
Often the forever you speak of it'll never end. And suddenly it's over, and they're growing up, and it's not over. We're always the mom. We're always the dad.
No, I'm aware. I'm still getting parenting.
But you know what we're talking about, this community, this dream you have. I really want to give my energy and support to that too, because
it's a blueprint. It's not a dream. It's a blueprint.
It is. It's the new blueprint. It's the new. It's not new, but it's what's going to resurrect us, humanity. And I completely know that humanity is resurrecting. And we're going to find this communal spirit, because when we share and give and help, when it's motivated by the soul, by the spirit, by the billions of names of God, or billions, whatever. And not everybody can even use the word God.
Ineffable essence of nothing.
It will work out perfectly. I mean, before, if our motivations were about, well, how is this going to help me? How is this going to help my family? That idea it's dying. There's too many people. That idea is dying. And by staying true to our spiritual heart within, our true spiritual being, not just cleaving to the spiritual being of another, and making it as if one's, but finding that core within one's own being, then we will nourish the entire universe, but we will also be nourishing ourselves. So we will not be depleting ourselves by giving. You know, part of that healthy spiritual template, as you say,
is the circulation.
It's the circulation, but it is, of course, the nourishment of the eye.
Yeah, tapping right into the life force, basically.
So I'm very inspired by what you're saying. Like, I can dig all of this.
All right, that's awesome.
And in that context, we've obviously had musicians play on our channel, and you'd certainly be welcome anytime to do Kirtan anytime through this.
And I wish to extend the invitation to anybody that has a message to share. Bring us, share your best with us, and we'll broadcast you to the world, because this is, we need to connect.
Not just to connect, but connect consciously, and I feel that
conscious connection.
And this is I feel one of the reasons for the existence of this particular way of expressing ourselves through the internet. And but you know, it's not just the internet; it's our own inner necessity that's really doing the work here. And Beth, you're a wonder, and it's just great that you're here, and that we're so privileged to have you with us. And you know, anything that we can assist in, you know, we offer it freely. And just realize that we're all in this together. You know, like Jim Morrison didn't say, no one gets out of here dead. So, you know, we're all going to come to life sooner or later, no matter how many loops it takes.
Our ultimate success is on helping each of us achieve our highest potential.
And the universe, you know, like the universe, it's a big universe, and we seem to be sort of become infinitesimal in terms of what we are compared to the vastness of what's being presented as the universe. But you know what? It's not the scale, it's the being that's really important. If you can be fully what you truly are, then that is everything. Whether you're an ant or a microbe or a galaxy or the entire cosmos.
I know. Simple act of being yourself, lo and behold, is what we most want to be, and then it's what we most want from each other as well.
Exactly. And
so simple.
And in a sense, when we
when we are being what we are most meant to be, that touches that part in every other being we come in contact with.
Exactly, gives them permission to be themselves too.
yeah, exactly, and it's easy, actually, it's easy
It
because
is
that's how we really are, and perhaps that's the whole point of the work and that we are here to do, and maybe I call it more a love play because it is a love play. It's learning to love and to play together.
And
once again,
and it is fun.
yeah,
It's
and
fun.
it can be truly
It's
a
real
lot more fun. It can be more challenging than we could ever imagine, but at the same time, when we begin to have fun in the face of
Yes.
our challenges, that's when we begin to be able to laugh about nothing in particular, then it's easy.
Well, look at children.
Yeah,
Children face immense challenges every day, throughout, and they're so resilient, and they just accept it.
Well, they experience everything fully, and if they need to cry, they cry full out, and then it's done, and they're gone. Off to the next thing, happily playing into another adventure, whatever it
And
is.
they just let go.
Yeah, and that's something that we can all do. We just have to let go of this overcoat of graveness.
Yes. Yes, this is an overcoat, and that's the thing. We already
Take it
know
off.
we already know how to do this. We already know how to be free, because even in this life, we've been free as children. We've been free, so it's already inside of us. It's not like we have to learn something. It's unlearning, which I think is much easier.
There you go.
We don't have to learn how to be conscious. We already know how. We just have to unlearn being unconscious. Yeah.
And there you go. What do you? Sorry, we're talking now. What
Yeah,
about
that's
you?
okay.
We're talking so much, Beth. Sorry.
That's okay, no worries. I always get a devil's advocate thing going on inside, and also to let people know that if it doesn't feel easy, if actually being yourself feels like an enormous risk, if it gets your adrenaline going and makes you feel like you're sweating and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna be myself or something like that, like not to worry about that, because we have so much training to undo, as you say, that if that is the hardest thing you can do, then cheers to you for even trying, because we don't have and it's also we can go and connect with anybody willy-nilly, but if we connect to somebody who actually, say on the surface, they seem to be happy for you, but underneath they're resenting any kind of evolution or movement that you're making,
Feeling threatened.
then you're better off alone. You're better off on a desert island for a little while to get your bearings and kind of see who am I?
That's the process of discernment, of learning who's really with us, who's really supportive, and we have the capacity to discern that.
Yeah,
and
to have one good companion on the road is rather than having hundreds of people that really cannot be happy for your growth is
outwardly
better.
Yes.
Well, that is the whole point, isn't it? To stop putting on masks, to take all the masks. It takes immense courage to go out naked. In the true sense of
especially in our winters.
Well, I know, hey, I'm in Scandinavia, they do it.
I know,
with glee. But no, going out truly naked in the sense in the not having any defenses and showing yourself without having to defend yourself. Just being what you are, it takes tremendous courage.
It takes courage, it takes intelligence too.
The discernment, right? Because if you go and you do that in the wrong company,
you get flattened.
they're going to smash you.
Well,
right?
there are those that actually...
So you learn the lesson of being smashed. Yes, I've been there, done that.
But there are those actually...
better ways of doing it.
There are those actually who understand this, who have gotten to the point where you expose yourself for what you are, knowing that you're going to get flat reactive and conditioning.
And that's
all around
why
you.
I tell you, don't complain when that happens, because you have that he's Irvin is speaking of his journey very much, and I've watched this and I really admire it. But I also support you in saying that you have the power to transcend, because sometimes you felt a bit flattened, and I say no, you're beyond that. You either have the biggest pity party in the universe, or you transcend all this, and I'm voting that you're here to transcend all this.
That means everyone, not just me.
Absolutely.
And we all...
You're doing it for all of us.
We all live kind of like for one another, in the sense, whatever lessons we learn and whatever journey we end up taking, ultimately, is not disconnected at all from any of us. One cell on my hand can think, well, I'm all alone and isolated, but
from
truly,
the bigger picture,
it's interconnected all the way through, whether I'm aware of it or not.
Yeah.
And so we are contributing to each other's lives regardless of whether we're conscious of it or not. And so when we do become conscious of it, that everything we do, everything we are, every breath we take, in a sense, is contributing to the evolution of not only myself and my family and those around me, but the entire species, or maybe even the life of this vast unknown universe. If we understand that part, my goodness, it certainly brings us into a situation of, wow, what an opportunity to live life the way I really want to live it.
And boy, I get conscious
and
of
just
what I'm
being grateful for that. What do you
Mm-hmm.
figure? Has that ever occurred to you?
Absolutely, right. That's we can't get away from it. Our thing is like you said, that we're in the habit more of the unconscious contribution, just the muddle through and the get through, and the no real cosmic plan or overriding plan.
Right.
And so if you can get up in the morning, okay, like, why am I going to do anything today? What's the point of all this? Why, always come back to the conscious choice of what something is about, and then it's an entirely different. You can go through the identical motions, but have completely different results.
Yeah.
And
because you're conscious of what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You're paying
So,
attention.
To have a conscious intention every day.
Conscious intention, and also because it seems like a lot of spirituality has become, like, it's popular now, right? Yoga is a normal thing. A lot of meditation teachers and classes and all that kind of thing. And one of the effects that it's having is that it's making people feel like, oh well, I shouldn't, I should be grateful, but actually I feel resentful. I should be happy for somebody, but I feel afraid for my own well-being. All of these, we have all the right ways to think and be right now, but we're not there.
Purification.
Sure, but along the way, not to pretend, right? Like that, holding up
what
spiritual
you were saying
idea.
at the beginning of the interview about not hiding from what you call the dark.
That's right, and not pretending that. I mean, that was a big. I feel like that was a big contributor for me getting cancer. Living a spiritual life, taking my ideals for myself up here, leaving all of this stuff,
the mess,
because I was taught that anything from here down was low class. This wasn't spiritual all down here.
Right.
Right? Feet on the ground. That's like the ultimate reaction to that. That, like, no, the blood, the guts, all of the hard emotions, the anger, all of that stuff, it's not garbage.
Well,
it's not spiritual garbage.
When you got sick, you found out how much power this had over healing your body. You had to become whole.
That's right. That it took getting into the so-called garbage, and not just as a means to get it out, actually to integrate and realize, what, this is the whole.
This isn't really garbage.
This really
This
isn't
isn't
garbage.
garbage.
This
No,
is my
that-
power.
Like
this is my life.
Yeah, when
Energy.
a child expresses their sorrow, their anger, all that kind of thing. This is not. I don't want to talk them out of that. I know ultimately it's a passing experience that they're going to have, but so just a message that the spirituality of today is creating a lot of hiders. I'll pretend I don't have these emotions anymore because it's not spiritual.
It's not cool.
My spiritual
but
teacher is going to tell me, oh, don't feel resentment, don't, all those kind of things, and it's like, no, just relax. Just take a breath. Just like feel what you feel. Be real about what you feel.
I mean, I've gone through a pretty brutal emotional process myself in the last several decades of my life, and I think it can get easier as we grow this community, this communion, that we can actually offer more real support to allow those hidden dark parts to come out into the light of day again, not just to go on a rampage, but to actually find, because the soul is in there too, and it's actually just to find where it twisted away.
Yeah.
I mean, I even see in some movies now where, this whole thing, we grew up with superheroes, Superman, and it was all like, oh, Lex Luthor's bad and Superman's good.